It's October 29th, 2024, and this is Sketchworks NewsBrake. The news stops here. I'm Brian Troxel, and 1 week to go until the kickoff of the 2028 presidential election campaign. Oh, joy. Coincidentally enough, 2028 is also when Maricopa County, Arizona expects to finish counting ballots in the 2024 election. It was a busy weekend for presidential campaign rallies. Friday, Kamala Harris was in Houston, where 2/3 of Destiny's Child were present to support the Veep. The third member of Destiny's Child was not in attendance, as she was not asked to be. Then Sunday, Trump was at Madison Square Garden, where Hulk Hogan wore a feather boa and ripped his shirt. Oh, t-shirts, when will you learn? Former FLOTUS Melania appeared with Trump at the rally, thereby completing her contractual obligation for quarterly public appearances with her husband. Elon Musk was also at the Trump rally, which is a nice segue to our next story about the Washington Post revealing that Musk worked illegally in the United States in the 1990s. Sources say he worked at a Blockbuster, rewinding videotapes, before he was fired for stealing a copy of Independence Day on VHS. Speaking of the Post, NPR reports the Washington Post lost more than 200,000 subscribers because the newspaper refused to endorse a presidential candidate at billionaire owner Jeff Bezos' order. Coincidentally, Make America Great Again hats will soon be available on Amazon Prime. On Wednesday, Kim Jong-un visited missile bases and urged for an increase in North Korea's nuclear deterrent as a result of, his words, the ever-increasing threat by the United States. I think the U.S. is more of a threat to itself than North Korea right now. No cap. The district attorney in Los Angeles, California, is considering whether to re-sentence Eric and Lyle Menendez, the brothers who murdered their parents nearly 3 decades ago. Sketchworks NewsBrake correspondent Tim Millard says a decision could be good news for his worthless sports cards.
I got into sports card collecting at a very bad time. The late 80s and early 90s are terrible for baseball cards, basketball cards, football cards, any kind of sports cards. They were grossly overproduced and are now, well, largely worthless. I know that, for example, I will not be retiring off this Reggie Theus basketball card anytime soon. Great. But I do have a card that might be worth something thanks to the Menendez brothers. It's this Mark Jackson card. In the background, you can see Lyle and Eric Menendez at the game. They were attending the game as an alibi after they killed their parents, and they just so happened to turn up in the background of this Mark Jackson basketball card. It's already worth some money, but if the Menendez brothers get out of prison, it could be worth even more money, especially if I convince them to sign the card. And then my worthless sports card collection might finally be worth something. For Sketchworks NewsBrake, I'm Tim Millard.
Thank you, Tim. Speaking of murderers and sports cards, look what I have. Yeah, he was certainly a record breaker, all right. McDonald's will resume selling its quarter-pounder cheeseburgers after an E. coli outbreak sickened dozens of people nationwide. Tests show the hamburger patties are not the source of the outbreak, but they are the source of your growing risk of a heart attack. Delta Airlines is putting a pause on servicing hot meals on dozens of their flights out of Detroit due to food safety concerns at their caterer in the area. Instead, passengers will be given a bag of discontinued Andy Capp's pub fries. Friday kicks off 3 weeks of excitement here at Sketchworks Comedy. Put OJ down. Les Mis America runs for just 2 shows this weekend, on Friday and Sunday afternoon. Our comedic take on politics and the iconic musical will get you ready for whatever nonsense happens next Tuesday. And after that, Sketchworks ABCs, Adults Being Children, runs for 4 shows over 2 weekends. Can you guess which sketches were written by adults and which sketches were written by our kids' summer campers? If you can, you'll win some fabulous prizes, but not an O.J. Simpson trading card. Buy your tickets at sketchworkscomedy.com or by scanning this code. You can see both shows for only $25, which honestly is just you stealing money from us. And then, after that, our court-approved Grease parody, now cleverly titled Vape, the Grease parody, will be having a 29-hour read in New York City as we look for investors to bring our little show that could to off-Broadway. What? If you have a bunch of money sitting around doing nothing, think about investing in that. Or, if you hate music, join our Patreon. Donate enough money and you can even write jokes for Sketchworks NewsBrake. We have upcoming acting and writing classes and so much more. So get thee hence over to sketchworkscomedy.com or scan this code and check it all out for yourself. Gratuitous plug. Hey, do you like music? It's a simple question. Do you like music? Well, if so, you'll like these next 2 stories because they're about people who make music. Friday, Lady Gaga released a new single titled Disease, which is just her reading Joker 2 reviews for 3 minutes. And singer Jelly Roll revealed he has lost 100 pounds, saying, "Soon you won't recognize me." Oh, Jelly Roll, your questionable face tattoos are a dead giveaway. Honestly, until a couple of weeks ago, I thought Jelly Roll was just Kevin James playing a new character. You know, prepping for Paul Blart 3 or something. Sunday, Timothée Chalamet made a surprise visit to a Timothée Chalamet lookalike contest in New York City. The actor placed 3rd. OnlyFans celeb Lily Phillips, who recently had sex with 100 men in 14 hours, is planning on sleeping with 1,000 men in 24 hours this coming February. Oh, that's a very poor choice of words there. In February 2025. The event is sponsored by the Original Mattress Factory and penicillin. And on that happy note, that's all for Sketchworks NewsBrake. We'll be back next week, and we hope you are too. I'm Brian Troxel. Say hi to your mom for me.
Which is why we will work together and continue to work together to address these issues, to tackle these challenges, and to work together as we continue to work operating from the new norms, rules, and agreements that we will convene to work together on.
How concerned are you about the potential impact of the dollar's status as the world's reserve currency?